Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his surprise and very special guest, Mr. Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm ready for round two.
So pre-roll, we talked about a video from MeetKevin that I have yet to see, but I am going to see it today, where he basically states he's sitting on $20 million in cash because he wants to buy things at 50% discount. Do I understand that correctly?
So he's really careful, and he doesn't mention this until the end of the video because
of course he does.
University, we want people to watch as long as possible.
Of course.
Right. So the teaser that gets you to watch the video, which is really good at that. Here's this little bit of information, stick around and I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
His thumbnails do the same thing. So I understand why his YouTube channel's blown up. And I loved MeetKevin for the first 2 years. He's in real estate. Here's how you reach financial freedom. Here's how investing works.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, he's more speaking to a general audience. And so I don't recommend his current stuff to a lot of people when they're starting out. But I will link older videos. He talks about why he sold his assets to get $20 million in cash.
Because he paper-handed.
Right, he did, right. And he calls it, he says, look, I admit it, I flipped.
Yeah,
I was by the dip. But now here's what he says. He says inflation is happening. So why in this video, he talks about people not understanding why he would want cash since it's being eroded. And to a small extent, I think that you and the lumberjack landlord are kind of in his corner of the ring for this.
All right, let's see.
Because you took out money, you pulled out equity at low fixed rate debt.
On
because
purpose.
in the next 2 years, you see pain coming.
Yep.
And in that pain, you're going to be able to purchase good or great deals.
Correct.
And he took it to an extreme, though. And he really was making an example. He said, let me explain why I want $20 million in cash, where, yes, I'm losing at least 7% every year, less buying power. I can buy less things with this amount of money next year. If prices stay the same or go up.
Okay.
But as rates go up, if the stock market crashes 50%, or home values drop 50%. And I think the example was, if I buy $1 million house with $20 million, I can buy 20 of them. If $1 million house drops to $500,000, and that's where I got the 50% crash from, which
okay. All right.
He said, then I can buy 40 houses.
Got it.
So I can buy twice as many with the same amount of money. So yes, inflation is hitting him at 7%, which it's more than that.
Yeah. More than that.
But if prices drop significantly enough, and when you have 20 million, you can do that. Because if he's wrong and prices double and he goes back in and you can only buy $10 million houses, he's going to eat.
Yeah.
If you're making $70,000 a year and you've saved up and you have 2 or 3 rental properties and you sell them to sit on all that money and you wait, and then you can buy one when it's over, you might not eat. So that was, to me, kind of a dangerous video.
Yeah.
It explains that, yes, if there's a massive crash coming, brilliant strategy.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So first off, I used to like MeetKevin. I actually interviewed him. I included his story in my book, right? The 203K loan. A lot of his early stuff was like, man, I wish more people would listen to that. But where I find most of the danger is he's operating at 8 figures, multiple 8, like 8 figures with a crooked number. That is impressive and all of that, but you can do things at 8 figures that the average person can't. I think he is so disconnected now from the average person, and that's who we're trying to help. You know, I don't know. I can't even, I'm okay. I'm better than average wealth. And even the stuff he talks about is above it's like, I can't do that. I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's crazy. But there is a couple of things that I want to say. So first and foremost, I think you're right. The only difference is I was planning for this 6 months ago before he lost millions of dollars. I saw the pain coming, and I did videos on my channel saying, MeetKevin, wake up, you're wrong. Stop following Kathy Wood. You're going to lose a lot of money. 6 months ago, people can look on my channel. I did one video just for him. I'm like, dude, you need to freaking slow down. So I feel good about those videos. But yeah, I did. I raised capital, and I did it because of Jamie Dimon. I mean, Jamie Dimon, now a year ago, it might be 10 months. I think it's a year. He came out and said, JP Morgan Chase is sitting on $500 million in cash. And he was asked why. He goes, first off, I know I'm losing to inflation. He talked about 4 or 5%. You got to remember, this is a year ago. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to look for a 30 or 40 or 50% discount. Here's the deal. In MeetKevin's video, he's talking about the market, which most of us look at, and we assume that our neighbor's house is going to go down 50%. That's not how this works. Why did I do it? Because I'm going to use my network. I'm going to go find that one motivated seller that's hiding in the arena. I'm going to go find that one office building or that one retail shop that's distressed. I'm going to go where the maximum pain is, and I have enough cash flow to carry that thing until it performs. MeetKevin is being disingenuous. He's using examples that make people think that everybody can do this. It's not going to be everyone. Not everyone can take over an empty office building. I've done that. Not everybody can take over an empty mixed use building with retail on the bottom and residents on top. I've done that. It's heavy. It's a big lift. It's amazing when it works out, but that first year sucks. So yeah, I will on purpose take advantage of this again. But I'm very clear. Everybody can't do it, right? If you're saving for your first or your second rental, you need to do a great deal now, because when you do the math, do you want to pay an extra % interest and then hurt your cash flow? I mean, it's
so here's a question for you.
Mhm.
You took out the cash to be ready for the pain that's going to create good deals for you, or amazing deals. Did you take out all of your equity? Every single paid off property now has a mortgage on it?
No.
Okay.
No, a couple of things. So first off, I only did 2 or 3. None of my houses. I did all mixed use, everything. I did because I used my lender, Velocity Mortgage, on Fridays, because he gave me 30-year money on office and apartments. I didn't do any of my houses.
Right. So that's what I wanted to clarify.
And I only did 50% because I believe in cash flow and all of these things. So I could have raised 400% more money, but I'm not that certain, right? I'm just not that certain, but I'm ready. And I've also said, if it doesn't work out in 2 years, I will write a check and pay off the debt. No harm, no foul.
So what I really like about the one rental at a time, the entire concept is and I'm using your concepts. We're targeting that newer investor. Get to 4, make it, get on the property ladder. You're not there. You're beyond that. You have this huge portfolio, right? But your content is designed for that. We talked about in the beginning, MeetKevin, the first couple of years, we both liked his content.
Oh, absolutely.
Graham Stephan, we both liked his content. There is one that I liked at that same time frame called Minority Mindset.
Oh, yes.
Jaspreet Singh. He's the one from that group, that age group, that made content that continues to make relative for the newer investor videos. But Graham Stephan, MeetKevin, they progressed to where they are now, and they're speaking from their perspective. And it's really rare. Once in a while, they make a video. Here's how you do that first or second property. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to share with everybody.
Yeah.
But we talk about, don't compare year 10 to someone's year 1. Our content is designed for those starting people. So we keep making content for those people. Our positions are different. You and Matt talked to me about, taking out, I have a paid off property, and I could take that equity out and I could be ready for the pain that's going to cause an amazing deal, right? But it's my one paid off property. At my position, it didn't make as much sense. I've bankrolled capital. I've been, all of the cash flow is going up for that next down payment for the next property. So I am holding on to cash, waiting for the great deal. But I didn't tap my equity because that didn't make sense for me, because I have 1. If I had 5, I probably would have tapped 2 or 3. I would have chose the number that made sense, went to 50%, would have made total sense. So if somebody's watching and they're hearing, well, MeetKevin sold everything, I should sell everything. And Matt and Mike took out a bunch of equity. Okay, sure. If you have $1 million in equity, take out 200 or 300.
Exactly.
Right. Don't put your financial freedom at risk.
Never.
Right. It's just like we talk about crypto. Whatever asset class you've picked, if you became super wealthy off of crypto or real estate or growing a business or stocks, at some point your portfolio gets big enough to put 1 to 5% in other asset classes.
Agreed.
The ones you didn't take 5 to 10 years to learn and study and absolutely know how to do it right. And that's your gamble. That's your play money. Totally fine. But don't say, okay, I'm going to go all into stocks, sell everything and just buy stocks, or I'm going to go all into crypto, or I'm going to go all into real estate without it being the asset class you've put the work into, learning how to do that asset class. So,
yeah. The other thing I want to say, because again, I did a warning video for MeetKevin, like, dude, slow down. It is very rare where, and again, I suffered this 20 years ago. That's why it was so, I mean, he's dealing with extra zeros, but it's the same idea. We got spanked. I got spanked. I just went all to cash. It was a very emotional decision. Emotional decisions don't often work out, right? You've got to be rational. You got to have a plan. The other thing is that drives me crazy. He doesn't do it anymore because he canceled doing the daily opens or whatever they were. He was looking at minute by minute candles and talking about being an investor. That's not how it works, folks. You don't look at minute, but you might be a trader. You're probably a speculator, but you are certainly not an investor looking at minute by minute candles and gambling.
No, that's a trader, a speculator, and I've talked about this on your video on your channel before. The investment portfolios that did the best belonged to people who had passed away. The ones that did second best were retirement accounts that people forgot they had.
Yes.
The third most effective was a cat that walked around on the keyboard and they invested in whatever that cat typed. So
amazing.
There are traders who are effective, but a lot of people don't talk about the 98% of traders who are not effective.
Yeah, exactly. This has been a lot of fun, folks. 20 million in cash. The other thing he could do is he could just not invest anymore and just live off that the rest of his life. That's a lot of cash.
Options most of us don't have.
Exactly. Well, Dion, how can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. I do live streams Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, and I like to stay until I have answered every question.
You're amazing for that. Thanks, buddy.
Ciao.